Eva Vlaardingerbroek is a Dutch legal philosopher who lives in the middle of a society in Europe that's being transformed by the climate agenda. Eva, appreciate your coming on tonight. Is it clear to people in Europe that this is just a straight-out power play by the Chinese government to displace the West?
No, not clear enough, I'm afraid. I don't think that they see through the real agenda behind this. And obviously, these people know only how to rule by fear. So what is happening is not just China, but also our government officials, our elites obviously benefit from a fearful society, from fearful people. People are afraid that the world is going to end. Because what is a better way to get people to comply to the things that you say that they have to do than by, having them actually fear for their lives? That's always the globalist tragedy. We've seen it with COVID, but the climate is probably even more effective because, well, if you really believe that the world's going to end, what is there that you wouldn't do in order to save the planet? And so that strategy of creating a crisis, of saying, well, we have an emergency and it needs to be solved now. We are on thin ice. We're all going to die. That's incredibly effective. And the solution that they always present you with is that we, us ordinary people, have to give up our rights, our property, and our freedom in order to solve this so-called crisis. It's always a rules for thee, but not for me type of situation. That is why we are the only ones that will end up not eating meat, not flying anymore, not being allowed to drive our cars. But for them, nothing ever changes.
I just got to wonder how the people who are pushing this, and I think some of them are doing it in good faith. I think they're really afraid the end of the world is coming and they blame themselves. But how do they explain China building 2 new coal plants a week? Why is that cool in a world in which carbon dioxide is considered poison?
Right. Well, you can't explain it, right? So that shows you that there is a different agenda behind this. You can't argue with these people rationally, really. And the fact that you can't, the fact that, for example, in the Netherlands, you've all seen what happens to, or what is happening to our Dutch farmers. We are such a tiny little country, yet our government says that we are the biggest nitrogen polluter in the world, and that all of our farms need to be gone by 2030 to solve this so-called crisis, And Germany, for example, is not even subjected to those rules. So all of this is completely arbitrary. So we need to think past the lies that they are trying to sell us. We need to wake up to the real agenda behind this. And that is, well, I'm sad to say it, but very simple one. It's always about money and it's always about power.
When they tell you to get rid of your farms, I think that's a red flag. I don't think I'm paranoid. I think that's fair. Eva Vlaardingerbroek, great to see you tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Tucker.
Subscribe to the Fox News YouTube channel to catch our nightly opens, stories that are changing the world and changing your life. From Tucker Carlson tonight.